Welcome to the Fireweed Tribe, a place where people create, thrive, and embrace wild places. Take a look. You might just belong to my tribe, the Fireweed Tribe. It is time to make cranberry liqueur using some of the low bush cranberries that I picked in the fall and then froze so that I could use them later in the year. My recipe comes from my friends Mary and Dwayne Young, who now live in Wisconsin. I measure out 8 cups of low bush cranberries, and then I macerate the berries, cover them and leave them overnight to let them further break down and release the juices. You can use a potato masher, or this tenderizer works well, making a satisfying crunch as I push up against the berries. Now for the vodka. I'm using our local vodka, which comes from the Three Bears store and the Denali Spirit Distillery. I'm measuring 750 ml of vodka, and I will leave the berries soaking in the vodka for another 24 hours. So now it is time to drain these berries that have been infusing in vodka for 24 hours. It is time to strain the berries now so we can use the juice. I scoop the berries into a cheesecloth bag so the berry pulp gets left behind. I hang my cheesecloth bag from a strong magnet on my stove, making sure to have a wide mouth bowl in place ready to catch the juice. You can purchase some nice setups from Amazon which will work for liqueur and jelly making. I'll leave a link in the description below. I let my berry bag sit for an hour, and when the drips have subsided, I squeeze the berries to retrieve the remainder of the juice. This is very satisfying, and it reminds me of kneading bread dough. It's just messier. You can compost the pulp or feed it to the animals, but remember the pulp contains alcohol, which could lead to tipsy chooks. With my vodka-infused cranberry juice ready, the next step is to make a simple sugar solution that I will add to the juice. It's 3 cups of sugar to 3 cups of water. Heat it slowly without boiling until the liquid becomes clear. This indicates that the sugar crystals have dissolved into the water. This sugar solution can now be added into the infused cranberry juice. An important part of storing food and liqueurs is ensuring that the storage containers are sterile. These clean mason jars are rinsed with hot water and placed in a low oven around 270 degrees Fahrenheit or 130 degrees Celsius to allow the water to evaporate off the jars. It takes around 10 minutes, but I'll leave them in the oven until I'm ready to bottle the liqueur. I also boil the lids and jar rings in the water to ensure they are sterile. You can also use the glass vodka bottle, but today my bottle is plastic, so I don't want to use it. Glass is always best when storing foods and liquids. Well, we're near the end. Fill up the sterilized jars with the liquid all the way up to the top. Wipe down the rim if juice spilled on it with a wet paper towel. Then grab a lid from the saucepan and wipe it dry with a clean paper towel before placing it on the jar. Do the same with one of the jar rings. Screw the ring to hold the lid in place. The final step is to label my liqueur with a Sharpie, so I will know when it is ready. There is something so satisfying about seeing my harvest turned into supplies in my pantry. This cranberry liqueur will be ready for Christmas or for a winter party. Here is a batch that I made earlier this year. It has a fabulous ruby red color, and the tartness of the cranberry is balanced by the sugar syrup I made and incorporated into the recipe. It tastes delicious, and it pairs perfectly with my homemade cranberry jelly and brie cheese. I guess that's another episode. Be careful, it is potent. I had girlfriends who were cross-country skiing last winter and called in for food and cranberry liqueur. They report being rather challenged as they skied home. Joining me today on the Fireweed Tribe channel. Please consider subscribing to my channel so you can see an Australian who is lucky enough to call both Alaska and Australia home. And remember, if you feel the call of wild places and yearn to have a connection to the natural world, then you might just belong to my tribe, the Fireweed Tribe.